It was a weird world where young people went to libraries, read newspapers, wrote letters, and had most of their conversations face to face. Excuse me. Now life centers around Mix It on the cell phone and Facebook on the computer. How is the digital world changing our ability to communicate effectively in the real world? Over to John Webb on the web.
There's always someone up. That's a cool thing. There's always company online. Usually at night say like, hi, who's awake? And you get like responses, one from London, one from California, one from Florida. My phone basically lives next to my bed. And when I wake up, the first thing I usually do, like before I go to the toilet, is check my mail, like if there's anything urgent that needs to be handled. The next thing would be to greet the people on Twitter or on Google Talk. Good morning, like to friends and co-workers. I'm always connected. Always.
Rafiq Phillips, on the face of it, an ordinary young man living on an ordinary street in Cape Town. But that's in the world that we see. In the parallel universe of cyberspace, Rafiq is known as a guru, and his habits point to a fundamental change in society. Rafiq is one of the drivers of the Web 2 revolution. But what exactly is this revolution that's gaining such force all around us? Web 2 sees the internet as a platform for interaction and social networking. Anyone with an internet connection can now be a publisher, a journalist, or an advertiser. The phenomenal rise of networks such as Facebook, YouTube, and MySpace gives anybody a potential audience of millions. Some say the change to our society is as fundamental as the invention of the printing press. To Rafiq, online communication has become more natural than talking.
It's continuous, like it's always happening, like someone's always asking you a question or asking you to send them an email, so you're always communicating. It's not just like stuck in work and you're sealed off from the rest of it, because you're always connected. In the office here, if you need anything, let's go for lunch or something, it's like you send them a message.
And you don't find it strange that you never actually get up and walk across the room to talk to somebody?
Strange? How strange? That's the only way I've been doing it ever. Like, so I don't know any other way.
Today, he invites two colleagues to meet at a cafe with free internet access. Hours later, the meeting takes place, partly face-to-face, partly via laptops and phones. Rafiq has his own online business, writes a successful blog, and works at an e-marketing company. He's won several awards for his work.
What I do is I help clients and companies be found on search engines for the products and services they offer.
In a world where over 6,000 Google searches are performed every second, that's a useful skill to have. In true Web 2 style, Rafiq posts a photograph of the meeting on the web. Friends respond, business contacts contribute, and so it continues. But what has this done to the old world, to traditional sources of news and communication? Some say today's 7-year-olds will never read a printed newspaper. The country's largest media company, Naspers, is changing radically to adapt to the market. Ari Rousseau, a former newspaper editor, has made the switch to digital.
The user is in control more than ever before. They actually decide what they want to read, when they want to read it, how they want to consume media content.
The news I want comes to me. I don't want to know about people taking showers. There's specific news that I'm interested in, and I stay connected. Usually what happens when I get home at night and my dad's been reading the paper, I'm like, and he tells me about something, or I see it and I'm like, why does it sound so familiar? But then I realize as it happened, or as the news was released, I get it on my phone or on my feed reader, and like when the news gets published, it's old news. So yeah,
we compete actually with Facebook and YouTube and MySpace. We compete with the Googles of this world. So what we've learned in a very short time, you have to be open to changes. Because what you plan now, if you can't deliver that within 3 months, you've almost missed the boat. If you wait too long, somebody else comes along, sitting in his garage or study somewhere, come up with a neat new product. People talk about the new product, it gets traction, and there they go.
But people don't only go to the net for news and information. more and more people prefer to shop online. Rafiq's blog, which is a combination of an online diary, publishing platform and business tool, attracts thousands of new visitors every day. What is said about a brand or product on a blog like this is very influential. Web 2.0 is changing economies and mindsets. Its forces have the power to make or break companies within a matter of hours. All over the world, universities and business schools have recognized the urgent need to understand and navigate this new environment. Here at the Graduate School of Business in Cape Town, new collaborative ways of thinking and creativity are being introduced.
We're looking at foreign sites like YouTube, Facebook being up there in the top 10, Google, and interestingly, blogger.com. So if we look at technographics, because this participation economy and this idea around it is really important to understand and take a read.
Dave Duarte advises big business and lectures at the GSB and elsewhere on the new economy.
The pace of change right now is not only unforeseen, it's unmanageable. So we've got so much stuff coming at us. The expectation for us to keep up with it is not really realistic. We've got to make choices. So people like me help people make the right choices.
How much of a problem is it if businesses don't respond to these huge changes in the environment?
I think part of the big problem with the companies that have got it wrong is that they saw an emergent crisis and they took it back to the boardroom and they discussed it and they formulated a strategy by which time the problem had morphed into completely something else. And be a blogger who's connected, and word will go to other bloggers, and the inevitable result could be that over a few months a listed company can lose 6% of its share value.
Would I be accurate in saying that South Africa is a step behind as far as technology is concerned?
In some regards, yes, sure. We've got a horribly low rate of broadband penetration. But in regards to the mobile internet and mobile applications, we are strides ahead of the rest of the world, and we're doing stuff which isn't even seen there yet.
Never before have ordinary people as users or consumers had more power. A real shift of knowledge and power is taking place, followed closely by a shift in the lines of wealth. The advertising world is reeling from the effects of the digital revolution. Senior advertising executive Gail Curtis says the industry will have to change radically if it's going to survive.
You can't just throw your budget out and hope that you're actually going to get your consumer through mainstream media like we did before. It's about how you're getting them to interact. That is becoming really, really crucial. It's what's in it for me.
Interactive, personalized marketing means that people play with brands to create their own online identities. They choose features, they vote for products and take part in competitions. All of it feeding into the consumer's need to feel noticed and unique.
What this technology enables us to do is it puts you in the center. It's like you become more important. It's not about what everybody else thinks, it's what about you think and what you can do with it, because it's now focused on a market of one.
The consumer's actually asking us, tell me what it is you want me to know about your product, as opposed to don't talk to me in a way that you think that I want to be spoken to, because I can switch off very, very quickly to something else that's more exciting and more fun. What the new generation is doing, and particularly in this instance the youth market, you know, they're doing their homework, they're talking on the mobile phone, they're playing games, and they're watching TV. So they're multitasking and working very, very quickly.
Continuous partial attention, that's what it's about, because you're always busy with something.
The communication and social habits of an entire society are changing. In the US, 1 out of 8 couples getting married met online. Locally, the trend is also increasing. Bradley Voges met his German fiancée Elena on a South African social website.
And I saw her profile because I have a profile on the website as well. And so I contacted her, and we started chatting on the site, and we sent each other a couple of photographs. We started meeting each other in the chat room every now and then, and just having a chat there as well.
Because you never really know, is it like a 25-year-old guy, or is it like a 45-year-old guy who wants to meet with you for a drink? So yeah, I'm always a little bit careful with that, but it turned out just fine.
Bradley and Elena are getting married, but the inherent problems of too much personal information on the web have been well documented, especially for younger users who fall prey to sexual predators. What has been less well documented is the psychological and cultural impact of a generation growing up communicating on screens.
I think that we need to take care that they don't disconnect, because technology was there for ultimate connectivity. They sit on the beach and they don't swim. They're too busy SMSing one another. They date one another and they haven't even met one another. It's through pictures, through SMSing. And, you know, you can say things via an SMS that you won't necessarily say to someone if you're looking across the room.
No one knows where the rapid development of the internet is leading us. All we know is that the pace of change has exceeded our ability to keep up, plan and interpret its impact. We also know that the divide between those who are plugged in and those who are not is widening.
If you don't catch up, you're going to be left behind, because the world is changing, or it has changed already. It's just people need to plug in and continue.
Web 2.0 may be changing the world in which we live, but I can't imagine a Sunday without the feel of the morning papers between my fingers. It may be old news when compared to what's available on the internet, but at least it's read in a world that I can touch and taste and smell.
I think I feel a lot more like John Webb than Web 2.0, and probably explains why my kids call me StoneAge.com.